Have you been going crazy, wondering about all the things you'll get to do in GTA 6? Are you giddy with excitement at all the new features that might be coming? Well, so are we. Here, we've put together a list of 75 plus features that are more or less confirmed to be coming in the final game, when we eventually get our hands on it. Obviously, the game is still in active development. The caveat to that is that these may be subject to change. But this late in the game, it's pretty safe to assume some of them are confirmed. So let's get to it. We've got a new toy box of stuff to play with. We're not just talking about guns either. There is a range of new items and tools to assist you in your criminal activities. From lockpicks, trackers, jammers, slim jims, binoculars, torches, a taser, and many more. For the weapons, we've got all your conventional pistols and assault weapons, but you'll also be able to use a few more unconventional ones as well. Golf clubs, baseball bats, flashbang grenades, and you'll even get to channel your inner Gordon Freeman by using a crowbar. Some cars are returning. With GTA 6 being set in the same canonical time as GTA 5, it makes sense that some of the cars commonly seen around Los Santos would also be seen in Vice City. But we've also got some new cars coming. For brevity's sake, we won't list them all in this video, but the good folks over at GTA Base compiled a list of all the vehicles seen in the leaks. We don't know their law-friendly names, but they look inspired by car brands such as Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet, and Jeep. We'll link the list in the description for you. The Vortex is back, or something that at least looks like a Vortex. That's definitely going to be fun. There's going to be plenty of roadkill for all your new cars. Wildlife is going to be a feature in the game. Everything from your domestic dog and cattle cows to snakes, boars, bucks, and swamp gators are going to be visible in the game. Wildlife will have its own AI routines. To make the animals in the game come alive, they will have their own routines and things to do. They will hunt and fight one another. Prey animals will run and hide, all of which you'll be able to witness yourself if you come across them. We're heading back to Vice City. This time, in the modern era, we're going to see the Floridian city of Vice in all its updated glory. And we'll be able to adventure beyond the city. New areas outside the confines of the city will be open to exploration, including rural towns, swamps, wilderness, and beautiful coastlines. The areas will be split into jurisdictions. Kind of like the different states in Red Dead Redemption 2, the areas around the map will have their own police forces, distinct from the ones within the city. The wanted system will work differently. There will still be the standard wanted levels as with all GTA games in the past, but with different police jurisdictions and the cops' upgraded abilities, avoiding the law will be a lot more complicated and may involve lying low in certain hideouts. The 6-star wanted level will not be returning. A disappointment to some fans, but it looks like Rockstar wants to move away from the crazy and ground their games more in reality. 5 stars will be the max achievable wanted level, and it's doubtful that the National Guard will be called in to bring you down. The cops will remember you. Evading the police will be more involved than simply outrunning them until the wanted stars disappear. If you are seen entering a vehicle while wanted, the vehicle will be remembered, even after your wanted stars have gone. If the police see you in it again, they're going to give chase all over again. You'll need to plan ahead and have a hidden clean car stashed somewhere for later. Police will also be a lot more cautious. Gone are the days when the police will terminate towards you like the T-1000, with complete disregard for their own safety and lives. They will think more tactically. They will make moves to box you in, surround and flank you instead of blindly throwing their lives away. Civilian casualties will not be tolerated. Not by you, of course. You're the career criminal. Go nuts. The police, however, they're going to be a lot more careful when there are civilians in the crossfire. Use that to your advantage. Hostage taking will be a must. Zip ties are also a new item that will function similarly to the lasso in Red Dead Redemption 2. You will be able to tie up NPCs and use them as human shields, possibly even as bargaining chips when the law has you penned in. Cops will be more compassionate, at least to their own comrades. Spotted in the leaked footage, cops will prioritize caring for their wounded friends when you gun them down, rather than trying to take you on. So go ahead and break some Geneva Conventions. They do it all the time with tear gas. NPC interactions will feel a lot more immersive. Taking RDR2's Westworld levels of immersion, Rockstar looks set to be putting those same things into GTA 6, interacting with NPCs through on-screen button prompts and responding to their conversations. Get ready to get catcalled. Adding to that, the NPCs will have things to say to the protagonists. While they may not have much to say to Jason other than to call him white trash, Lucia will get unwanted attention from gross, pervy men. Speaking of, introducing Jason and Lucia, making their GTA debut are the two main protagonists. Jason and Lucia are a romantically involved couple of criminals, in a modern-day take on Bonnie and Clyde. We don't know much else about them in terms of their story, but we're eager to find out. You'll play as both Jason and Lucia. Switching between the two will happen pretty much instantly. From the leaked mission sequences, it looks like playing them both together in close proximity is the way the game is meant to be played. Your decisions will determine the health of their relationship. In a more recent bit of news, a relationship meter that will kind of work like RDR2's honor bar is gonna feature. It will move up or down depending on the decisions that you make and how you play the game, including simple dialogue choices. Personalities will develop in line with your choices. It will be entirely dependent on you as the player, but as you progress, personalities will develop between pragmatic or romantic, chaotic or neutral. Leaked information hinted towards this being the case, but it will likely influence dialogue choices between the two characters and others in the game. You'll be able to surrender to the police. As with previous GTAs, getting busted is always an option, unless you went beyond a 2-star wanted level. At that point, the police were immediately lethal. Now though, you'll have the option of surrendering peacefully. We don't know what the consequences will be, but it might be preferable to being wasted. You can drop your weapons. You'll certainly need to if you intend on coming out with your hands up, but it's also a necessary feature because you won't be able to carry all the weapons you want anymore. The weapon wheel will not be making a comeback. It could exist in some kind of UI, but you won't be able to carry an absurd amount of concealed weapons that would never be concealable in any kind of real-world scenario. Instead, you'll have to conceal any small guns like pistols and carry longer weapons over your shoulder, where they will be visible to NPCs and police. NPCs will react to you brandishing a gun. Despite popular beliefs surrounding the state where everyone's favorite superhero resides, Florida Man, Florida is not quite the right-wing hellscape that many across the US and the world believe, including the fact that Florida is not an open carry state, meaning that you cannot openly carry firearms in an expression of your Second Amendment rights. So, if you are walking around with a rifle on your shoulder, NPCs and police will not take too kindly to it. You will be able to threaten and rob NPCs. In the same vein as RDR2, pointing a gun at NPCs will give you the option to threaten and rob NPCs. But be warned, not every NPC will be made equally. They won't all react in the same predictable way. Some will try to run, cry out loud for help, or they may even take their chances and try to take you on. Robbing stores will be a lot more involved. As with regular NPCs, shopkeepers may decide to try to stall you, call for help, or hit a silent alarm. No interaction will be the same, so stay on your toes. Even if they do comply and fill up the bag with cash, the bag of money won't automatically be added to your cash counter. You're going to have to grab it with your offhand and make a getaway. Keep your eyes out while you're grabbing the cash. The shopkeeper might take their chance while you're distracted. NPC storekeepers will remember you, and they certainly won't be the forgiving and forgetting types if you try to return and to do some legit shopping. Be careful who you decide to rob, as they might just go straight for the silent alarm if you show your face again. Not only that, you'll also have CCTV to deal with. The watchful eyes of robotic cameras will be an ever-present danger to your criminal career and can help it to come to a swift end if you aren't careful. It's been hinted that there will be a means to locate and shut off the cameras in any given location, but that will be up to you to find. Laying low will probably be a necessity. The world map looks set to be littered with places like hideouts, motels, campgrounds, and even places that are known to the protagonists as safe houses. Essentially, places for Jason and Lucia to find safe harbor after committing their crimes. To add to that, purchasable property will be available. What's the point of looting all that cash if you don't have anything to spend it on? like your own little pad on the Florida Keys or whatever law-friendly name that Rockstar gives them. Cars will also be available for purchase. While you're in the market for laundering your ill-gotten gains, you might as well get that flash sports car you've always wanted. Just don't go committing any crimes with it. Cars will spawn according to location. If you don't quite fancy forking out cash for the car you want, you can always go stealing one. You'll have to look in certain locations for the cars that you want. Beat-up pickups and bangers will be more common in rural areas and rough parts of town. Flash sports cars will be in the more upper crust parts of the map. Stealing cars will require different tools. Tools like Slim Jims will get you past most car theft deterrents, but if you want to steal some fancier newer models, you'll need to bring some different kit with you. Things like the immobilizer and tracker jammers that will prevent the car from locking you out and alerting the law. Vehicle customization is back. You'll not only be able to deck out your cars with all the flashiest looks, but you'll be able to soup them up with all kinds of performance-enhancing parts. You could build yourself the perfect getaway car to keep you one step ahead of the law on your next heist. Car chases will be a lot more involved. You'll be able to engage your pursuers as at least one of the protagonists. The one that isn't driving, at least. You can lean out of the window for a full 360-degree angle. If you have a pickup, even better, you'll be able to use the flatbed as a firing platform to shoot from. Vehicle damage will be more realistic. In previous GTA games, cars had an invisible health bar that was denoted by the kind of smoke coming from the hood. As soon as the smoke turned to flames, you knew it was time to bail. Now, cars will steam from the first good whack that ruptures the radiator. We might even see them break down at the worst possible moments. Cars will have accessible inventories. If you were wondering where you were going to keep all the guns you want to use, then think no more. You'll be able to stash them in your car, similar to how you could stash them on your horse in RDR2. It goes without saying that a lot of tried and tested features from RDR2 are going to be used and improved upon in GTA 6. Jason and Lucia will have their own inventories. With all the new items in the game, they're going to need the space to carry it all. Needless to say, they will be able to carry their weapons, ammo, tools, and other consumable items on them. They will also have a shared inventory. As it looks like they're meant to spend most of the game in close proximity to one another, the characters were seen with a shared inventory, probably for all their loot and other things that they'll need to share between them, like tools, ammo, and medical items. It looks like you can expand inventory space with equipable bags. Lucia was spotted wearing a duffel bag. Whether it's part of a mission sequence or otherwise, it's probably safe to assume that expanded inventory space will come in handy in certain circumstances. Injuries are gonna carry. It was hinted that it is possible to pick up injuries such as concussions, which may debilitate your character, at least until they recover. Good thing you'll have a spare one to play as. Adding to that, new medical items appear to feature. We don't know what exactly they're meant to be used for, but items such as the trauma kits were seen in the leaks. It might be that they're used to pick up one of the protagonists if they're downed. Who knows? It's all possible when playing with two protagonists. We'll get more cities to explore. Although it is going to be set in Vice City, and Rockstar have hinted at a smaller initial release, they have left a lot of room for things to be expanded on further down the line. Online mode will support mods. After hiring the team behind CFX.RE, it's become clear that their prior hostility to mods has waned. Now, it seems that GTA 6 Online will be able to be played exactly how you want to play it. Unfortunately, you'll be limited to 32 players, probably due to the size of the maps and the strains on the servers. Still, it could be a good thing. A server that's too full would turn into a crazy battle royale. GTA isn't COD or Battlefield. Stealth has been improved. A few new features have been spotted that seem to flesh out the stealth experience a bit more. Hopefully it won't be limited to a few set-piece missions with forced stealth sections. You'll be able to go prone. Getting down on your belt buckle will help you remain undetected. And although it wasn't seen in any of the leaks, it could make a nice, stable firing platform to shoot from. You'll be able to move and hide bodies. Having the ability to remove bodies from detection is always a must in stealth games, or games with stealth mechanics. It could also add another gameplay loop of disposing of bodies of the people that you and your partner in crime have bumped off. there are plenty of alligators that need feeding. All that crawling around will make you dirty. Clothing details have been overhauled to bring some more life to the characters. Blood, sweat, and maybe even tears will appear on clothing. Don't forget your sunscreen. As silly as it sounds, it's been suggested that it might be possible to get a sunburn. It might turn into a nice tan, or maybe something worse. Who knows? Hair growth is possible. Taking more features from Red Dead 2, you'll have to keep on top of your character's grooming habits. Or don't. You can always let them turn into wild swamp people, if that's your thing. The choices are all yours. Hit the gym. A few leaked details about possible achievements suggest that gyms might be back in GTA. Building up muscle and working on cardio was something you could do as CJ in GTA San Andreas. Hitting the gym as Jason and Lucia could lead to a boost in stats, or it might just make them look buff. The gunplay is gonna feel a lot more real. It looks like GTA has dropped the standard third-person view in favor of a close-up over-shoulder view when aiming weapons. Adding to that, you'll be able to switch shoulders, a much-loved feature of RDR2, again making appearance in the GTA franchise. It should come as a vast improvement to the gunplay in the game. Gunshots will sound a lot better. Rockstar seems to have put some man-hours into researching how gunshots sound. They are quite hard to pull off effectively in any medium because, as this veteran writer will tell you, they're loud and make your ears ring. Dynamic noise will immerse the player in their environment. Depending on where you are, things will sound different. Carrying on with the example of gunshots, they will sound muffled if they are going off indoors and you, the player, are outdoors listening in. Vice versa, if you're indoors and they're going off outside. Not only that, gunshots going off inside are particularly loud, as the sound smacks off all the walls and makes your head shake. Speaking of being indoors, you'll be able to explore a lot more indoor locations than ever before. A lot more buildings will be accessible to the player both in the public space and places that you can break into. Easter eggs will be littered throughout the map, such as Rockstar's MO. You'll have to do some exploring to find them all. It should be even more interesting getting to rummage around building interiors for them all as well. The game will be full of random events, around 1,300 to be precise. Interactions with NPCs, police, maybe even some animals. Speaking of, police can set up DUIs. Although we don't know if this will involve the player or be a simple stop for NPCs that will put more police in the area. If you're trying to avoid them, it might be wise not to drink and drive. Yes, you can drink. Of the consumable items in-game, wine appears to be one of them. We don't know how it will affect the player character, but we can guess. Player characters will move like real people. As silly as that sounds, the player animations team seems to have gone overboard in making Jason and Lucia come to life. For example, running full pelt will carry inertia. Stopping sprinting will require them to slow down to a jog and then walk. Have you ever tried stopping sprinting? Can't do it without breaking your ankles, can you? They'll be able to aim behind them while moving forward. It probably won't lend itself to the most accurate shots, but if you're being chased, it might come handy in a pinch. From the footage, it looks like they twist on their hips to fire behind them. When you take incoming, your character will react. Seen in the leaks as the under fire animation, Jason and Lucia will duck and cover their faces when the lead starts flying, because getting shot at sucks, and even the biggest, hardest, burliest Navy SEAL will flinch at the crack and whip of flying bullets near their head. The weather is gonna suck, at least only sometimes. Weather events will range from gorgeous sunny days to gale force hurricanes, all of which will look and feel as real as if they were happening right there in your room with you. Rockstar has hinted that there will be some large-scale destruction. For now, we're assuming that this might be limited to a few set-piece missions, but still, it's going to be cool to see, in their words, buildings collapsing. Special abilities are back. We don't know for sure what Lucia's will be, but we have seen Jason sporting some kind of sixth sense detective mode. The ability to see highlighted little details here and there that others would miss. The Life Invader app is back, which would make sense as this is the same universe as GTA 5. It'll add little tidbits of lore here and there as the main story progresses. The game will be set after the events of GTA 5. We know this because we've seen some dialogue that mentions the death of Jay Norris, a character who perished in the previous game's story. So there you have it. A good, long list of things to whet your GTA appetite in anticipation of its release. We should finally be getting our hands on the game sometime within the next year or two. For now though, we shall content ourselves by bringing you every bit of GTA info that we can. Consider a like and subscribe, and free is from the bonds of the algorithm. It's you that it wants. It wants to claim you, nurture you, feed you all the content you crave. Give in.